Okay, this is a quick overview of how to notify students of where to find your live teaching links for remote learning days. I'm recording this specifically in preparation for the possibility of an inclement weather day on the first day of a new semester when you have not yet had the opportunity to show students how to find these links. So in order to do that, we're going to do a few things to make sure that it is very, very obvious and very easy for students to find what they need. So currently I'm working in a sandbox course. I have preloaded the GCS course template. Now, one thing you'll notice is that there used to be a button up here that said live teaching times that linked to a page called live teaching times. And that button was an easy way for students to go directly to what they needed in order to find the links and everything. For some reason, that button's not here anymore. So I'm going to show you first how to add a button. Second, we will review how to set up a Teams meeting through a page. And then the last thing I'm going to do is show you how to attach that same information to an announcement to ensure that students can find the information in multiple places. So I created my own button for my Canvas courses. You can see it here. And I created it in Canva. I will download it from Canva. I've actually pre-downloaded that to save time. If you are interested in having this image file, let me know. I will email it to you and you can use it in your own course. But I have already downloaded that. You'll see my download here. So I'm going to go to my sandbox page. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to edit the page. So you'll see each of these is in its own cell in a table. I can add another row to this table. I'm just going to click here and then click for table tools, row, and then insert a row after. So that just gives me a new space to put things. I'm going to insert my image for a new button. Upload image. Grab the one that I've downloaded. If you don't want to bother with an image and you just want to put a text link there, that is also okay. And now you'll see there's my image. I'll resize it so it doesn't look crazy and it's a little closer to the size of everything else on the page. So this is my button, and I am going to link this button to the live teaching page. Now, the button for live teaching times isn't on the home page anymore, but the template does still include that page. I would just use that page because it's easy, but if you want to make a new page, you totally can. So to find the page from the template, you're going to go to Pages, and that's going to show you your home page. So then you're going to go to View All Pages. And then if you Control F, it lets you search your browser or whatever screen you're on. So that was Control F, and then I'm going to type in live because I'm looking for live teaching times. And you can see I have two because I copied one over from an old course to show you what the finished product looks like. But here's the one that came with this template. I renamed it to make it easier to find. Yours will just say live teaching times. When you get there, this is what this looks like. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to edit this. Next, I'm going to add my Teams meeting. So remember that when we're adding a Teams meeting, we go here to our menu, we click on plugins. Microsoft Teams meeting shows up for me because I've used it recently. If you don't see that, you can click view all and Microsoft Teams meetings will show up there. Then I go through my process. I set up the meeting just like we normally would. I link it to my Microsoft Teams account. I click create meeting link. I give it a title, Remote Learning Day. You can set a date, but the actual date doesn't matter a whole lot. You set a start time, but you will not be limited to that time, so the time is just going to show up in the posting. And then I click Create. Remember that the next step that we have to do is that we have to set our meeting options before. Yeah, organizers, co-organizers, and presenters is okay. meeting info on the screen. It can include the title, start time, and who else has joined. That's okay for everyone to see. That's a new feature that hasn't been up before, but that will not let them bypass the lobby. We will turn on who can present, only organizers and co-organizers. We will turn on for participation, yes to allow mics, yes to allow cameras. Meeting chat needs to be in meeting only. And then we want the attendance report, and we want to go ahead and set it up to record automatically just so that we don't forget. We click save. It will take us, or we can close this tab now and go back here. I'm going to copy. It's going to close this window and automatically insert the link right here. Okay. The other thing that you may want to do on this page is add a copy of the school schedule, which Miss Adams, I think, has shared via email. So schedule for remote learning days. So then I'm going to put save. This is ready to go. So I go back to my home page. I'm going to click on my button. Now I'm converting this button to a link. I'm going to select course link. I'm going to pages, and then I'm going to search for live teaching times, and I want to use this one because this is the one that I just edited. This has now been converted to a link, and we can click save. So now this is on my homepage. When a student logs in and looks at the homepage of my course, they can see this button. They can click on it. It's going to take them to the page that I need them to look at. Now, because this is the first day of a semester and I've never met the students in person before and they may not know where things are on my Canvas course, just in case, we're going to add an announcement. And then I am going to drop. Now, I will still do the same thing I did before. I'm going to drop in my image. I am going to set that image as a link again, course link, pages, and I need the live teaching. Here's my link. It's in this meeting. I'm also going to put a note that of what time class starts. So, okay, I have my button. It'll take me to where I need. Now, if you don't want to deal with the button and you just want to link to your page, you can also just put in a course link to that same page that you were looking for. And it'll pop up as a text link. That is also perfectly adequate. I like buttons because it makes it very obvious where things are and it's teaching students what to look for as visual cues. But the text links are also perfectly fine as long as it is clear to students what they need to do to find what they are looking for and how to get into your class. So I will set the time that I want this to become available and I will click publish. Right, and so now I have an announcement. It's right here. That announcement will show up on students' dashboards when they log into Canvas on that day. I can also set it so that announcements show up at the top of my home page. You do that in settings. You scroll down to the bottom, and then here there's this option that says show recent announcements on course homepage. I like for my 2 most recent announcements to show up at the top of the course homepage, just because that way it's one more layer of communication with students and ensuring that they are seeing my content. So now when I go back to my home page, you can see my recent announcements has for remote learning right here. They can click on it here. They can click on my button here. They will also see this announcement on their Canvas dashboard alongside of all other announcements. This way, students have multiple chances of seeing the information about how to log into your class.